Galloway's Tech Talk at 3. SightPlus wearable aid with Give Vision.
Welcome everybody. It's Galloway's Tech Talk at 3. Great to see everybody here today, all energized and ready to go. I'm joined today by Elodie and Michael from Give Vision. How are we doing, guys? We all right?
It's fine, thank you.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Excellent. We feeling all energized. Are we ready to go?
I think so.
Excellent. All right. Brilliant. Well, I think I'll be here. I'll probably be asking some questions, and we'll open up towards the end of the session if anybody's got any questions that they'd like to ask. But I think I'll firstly hand over to you, Elodie. Welcome, guys, and off over to you.
Thank you very much, Andrew. And yes, it's really good to be back. Saying to be back because I was just saying that with Michael, actually, we've been to all your centers before, and thank you for also organizing
That's
that
right.
before.
Yeah, you have. We've missed you guys.
We've missed you. It's great just to to be traveling around and chat with people in like real. But it's still very good that we can do that. So I guess for us, it was maybe to give still an overview of what we have been, what we do and what we have been doing, because maybe everybody doesn't know us. So I'm just going to talk a bit about our work in general. And Michael will share his experience because Michael is a SightPlus ambassador. So SightPlus is our device. He's a SightPlus ambassador, and he has been supporting, many people, testers and users, SightPlus users as well. So I will just start giving you a bit of an overview of what we do. We started Give Vision now 7 years ago, and we wanted to, use wearables. It started a bit with the interest with the Google Glass. I don't know if some of you have tried it or know a bit how it looks like, but we were really interested in knowing if we could, turn this kind of hardware into a low vision aid, which we basically realized that we can't because the screen on the Google Glass is quite small. So it's quite, challenging to do any magnification on this kind of hardware. But, it was just the idea of how can we, again, use any wearables, having something that can improve people's vision, be a bit like, we like using the example of the hearing aids. When you wear a hearing aid, it enhances your, your hearing capabilities. And we wanted to see what we can do also with wearables to do the same, how we can enhance people's vision. So we started working on this device, which on the slide, it's a headset and a little remote control, which is the device we call SightPlus. This device has been tested clinically to really, have clinical evidence that it improves people's vision. In this case, we did the trial with 60 patients with different sight conditions, and I think the result were 98% significant improvement of the visual acuity and contrast sensitivity. So obviously that was very interesting evidence, but also in addition to that, we also did some studies to understand what people were doing with the device and if it was really making a big difference. And I will share some of the data a bit later. So the device itself, it's very similar to, when I say very similar, it works a bit like a digital magnifier. I know that Andrew tried it a few times. Obviously, Michael will share his experience with it. But I just wanted to tell you a bit more about, what we call the main selection criteria, because we know this device can be of use and benefits people that are basically right now using a magnification tool. It could be any kind of magnifier or even your camera on your phone, but that's a bit the baseline that we use to know if it's going to be useful for you or not. Right now we have users with very different type of sight conditions, but I would say that the main one is definitely the central vision loss. So many people with AMD, with Stargardt, also diabetic retinopathy, albinism, I mean, definitely, you know, many different type of conditions. But again, the baseline is they are able to use a magnification tool. And the main use cases that we have so far are for, you know, like watching TV. So things that you do, you need to see something at a certain distance, and also things that you see close up, like reading. And it has been quite good for playing music because the ability of having your hands free. But I wanted also to highlight things that, you know, we know SightPlus won't work for, and it's not a mobility aid, which, you know, we had many people asking this question, oh, when would it be? Because obviously that would be also a great tool for, you know, going around and you just switch it on and you know where to go. And I think, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I think this is, you know, something that will take a bit more time. And sometime we even joke around saying maybe, you know, driverless car will come first, then, you know, wearables for mobility. But again, it's something, you know, just because it's a bit, you know, it's trickier, doesn't mean it won't happen, but it will require a bit more, you know, studies and trials and so on. We also know that people that, you know, can't use the remote control themselves will really struggle to adopt the device. So that's also why we're asking some questions, you know, around, oh, do you have, you know, hand dexterity issues or vertigo or anything that can really impact on you being able to use the remote control or to wear the headset. But that's the thing that, you know, Michael and I will ask when someone is interested to give it a go. And also another thing I want to highlight is about the reading experience, because I guess, you know, reading is really part of everyday life, and you can read in different ways. And many wants to get, you know, to try to read with their eyes again. And I think what we've seen so far is that if people haven't been really reading, you know, with their eyes, not listening to audio for like years, let's say 10 years, it might be very tedious and challenging to read with the device, like it would be for, you know, to read with any magnification tool, really. But that's just, you know, I'm just saying that basically to manage a bit of people's expectation. I think it can be a bit, again, delicate. So just to be sure, okay, what we have, we know it has shown very good, you know, good benefits and has been quite useful. But again, like any tool, it has some limitations. And just maybe a quick list of like the main functionalities. Right now, we also designed this device to be as simple as possible. So you have just a little remote control with the 4 buttons. And the main functions, again, very similar to a digital magnifier. It's about the zoom, contrast, and how you control the light around you, which might be a big difference compared to a tablet or, you know, a digital magnifier. And I think we've also tried to be very, you know, cautious about the impact of looking at the screen for some period of time. And we've developed a blue light filter. So this is like embedded in the application. But there is also an option for you to remove all the blue light, because right now many people ask these questions about, oh, is it, you know, safe on the long run, like to be so close to a screen, which now is so common to be, you know, we are spending so much time, you know, close to a screen anyway, but this is quite close to your eyes. So right now we're comfortable saying that, you know, if you use this device for 3 to 4 hours a day, it's fine because it's very similar to the blue light that is around you. But it's that because we have also this blue light filter. And I'm just gonna get Michael to comment on his own experience with the device, because Michael has been one of the first, what we call early adopters. So he has the device for, I don't want to say a wrong thing, but for more than 4 years, if I'm correct. And he can tell you a bit more about what he has been doing with it, and also his experience helping other people and what they have been doing, you know, other use cases. Over to you, Michael.
Thank you, Elodie. And thank you again, Andrew, for inviting us along to this tech afternoon. Yes, my story. Well, I've been using SightPlus now for close on 5 years. I got as I couldn't see television, things like that. All I had in my lounge was a very big radio, purely because I could only listen to the television or sit 12, 18 inches away from it. But fortunately, I met Elodie and I got introduced to SightPlus. Now I can sit 6, 7 feet away from the television, watch all the television I want. I can use it for reading. I can now document things. It's actually given me back a lot of independence that I was having to do away with and rely on other people. For instance, you know, your personal banking documents, somebody else was having to read all that to me. No longer that happens with me. I can now read all my own paperwork. I use it on the computer. It's really brought life back to me as I knew it prior to having getting visually impaired. But it doesn't stop there. I use it in all parts of the house, in the kitchen. I feel safer now in the house and using my kitchen appliances because I can now see them and to operate them correctly. Obviously, we say that SightPlus is not an item to be used to walk around with. So I just carry it with me around the home. And if I want to do something in the kitchen or anything like that, I even take it outside if I want to go into the buildings outside. And I can just bob it onto my head and I can see. One of the big things I did find getting back to normality as best you can was going shopping again. I could now see items on the shelves. I could read the best before dates. And when you go shopping for clothes, I couldn't see colours properly anymore. I was really living in a negative world. Well, once I got SightPlus, all the colours came back again, and strong, vivid colours. For example, watching a football match on television, you know, I can make out all the players, the grass, the colours of their strip and everything. You know, it really is, you know, I put it down. I sum up SightPlus for me personally in 2 words. It has been life-changing and it's given me back a lot of independence. I don't rely on people for anything. It might seem stupid this, but you guys there, you'll be aware of what I'm going to say. If you drop something on the floor, how do you find it when you're visually impaired? Well, I joke to people many, many times, and I say to people, my carpets in my home are the best stroked carpets in the world because I was always on my hands and knees stroking it to find something I dropped. That doesn't happen anymore now. If I drop anything, it's no big issue. Pick SightPlus on, put it on, and I can find what I'm looking for. You know, there's no stroking left, it's there. You know, I don't have any double vision. And it's like Elodie said, you've got different functionality. It's been made as simple to use as possible. You know, I really enjoy using it, and I've really enjoyed introducing it to so many different people over the last 4 or 5 years. And the amount of things that people come back to me and say what they're using it for. I've got a guy that spoke to me a while ago and said he wanted to use it for DIY. He actually used it to put up new exterior lighting on his property. And he did all the drilling himself. I've somebody else I know that has SightPlus. They use it on a lathe. You know, another lady, she had 3 grandchildren, 2 of which she'd never seen properly. Once she got SightPlus, she was then able to see A, the one that she'd seen before she losing her sight, and B, the other 2 that she'd never seen properly. And she said it was absolutely, well, it overwhelmed the lady because she got upset telling me about it. And I can see where she was coming from. We have ladies that, you know, they've taken up knitting again. They had to stop knitting or crocheting. It's now come back into their life again. You know, hobbies, they play cards. They play board games again. They're not being left out. They can now join in so much more that they used to do, and they had to live life without those little treats, as I call them, for, you know, their hobbies or meeting people. You know, there's one particular lady that they had a card school, and she still went to the card school, but she couldn't play cards unless somebody took the time and patience to play her cards for her. But she got SightPlus, and now she's back in the card school, playing her cards and doing the whole thing as she did prior to having her vision, the loss of her vision. And it's all down to SightPlus. You've got to be aware that it isn't an instant fix. You've got to, if you want to use it for different things, you can pick it up, put it on. Yeah, you can see your television, read. But if you want to make the best out of SightPlus and get your independence back, take time and patience to learn these little things. Stupid things that I did. I used to set myself a test each week of what I could do with SightPlus. Silly things like I could now go and read the meters again. It might sound stupid, but it was something I could do again. I could, not as we use them much these days, but I can now write a check again. In fact, I wrote a check on Tuesday. You know, there's no way I could have done that without SightPlus. You know, no, as I said before, guys, for me, it's life-changing and has become life-changing for so many people. I have a gentleman that has SightPlus. He used it to work on engines, you know, and that was his hobby, you know. But anyway, if I can be of any more help or assistance, if people want to talk to me about it, you know, Andrew will put you in touch. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. I think, yes, Michael has been, I mean, obviously he has been using the device for 5 years, but what he hasn't said is that he has been very, very useful and supportive in you know, developing and improving the device. So we've tried to take on board people's feedback on a regular basis and do like a, you know, software updates at least once a year. And since last year, we've also started working on something else, which I wanted to tell you a bit more about. So, you know, since the pandemic happened, we were obviously thinking, okay, we have to change a bit the way we work because it wasn't possible necessarily to, you know, see people. So we've done most of the things remotely, but we were also thinking, okay, how can we make this device more useful? And we realized during the pandemic that, and, you know, maybe, you know, those who have any, you know, eye injections feel concerned about, but, you know, it was a bit messy last year. Some people didn't have necessarily their injections. Some people might have been scared to go to the hospital. But for some sight conditions, you need to have regular eye monitoring. So we thought, okay, maybe you can help, because we know people use this device on a regular basis. So actually, it could also help monitoring their vision, you know, and if their vision acuity drops, then it's a sign that they need to see someone, and even for them to motivate themselves to go and see someone. So we started working on that with Michael's support and also other SightPlus users. And we are actually now looking for new testers. So we have basically what we have now is just, you know, a normal eye test the one that you would normally do at the optician with the letter, and you say which letter is that you can see. So it's very similar to that, except that then is happening in the screen. And with the remote control, you give your answers. So we have been developing this with some SightPlus users, and now we would like to also have, you know, the feedback of people that never tried SightPlus, because I think, you know, for some people that, like Michael, that have been using the device for so long, it might seem very easy to, you know, to use a remote control, and now it would be great to also have the feedback from some people that, you know, they don't really know how it works, and again, in order to improve how we can introduce this device. But our basically new concept then is to combine both. It's, you have this wearable, and then you can also use it for, you know, as a remote eye monitoring tool. So if you, rather than going on a regular basis to your optician, you can also use, you know, this device. Obviously, this is, you know, we need to be more clinical evidence that it works well and so on. So we're still early stage in the process of development. But right now, if there is any interest, you can be involved. And it means that when we have you know, a version ready, which, for example, right now we're working on a new iteration of those eye tests. It means that in you know, 2-3 weeks, we will ask people if they are ready to get to receive the device, and we will ask them to do an eye test once a day for maybe 1 week, maybe 2. But that's the kind of involvement that we are looking for. And it means that then you can keep SightPlus and use SightPlus as you want, you know, but we are looking for receiving your results in terms of visual acuity. And another requirements to be involved is to give us, to tell us which, you know, visual acuity you have now. So basically we can compare it to the result that we're going to get from the device, and to really see if it makes sense and if it's reliable and so on. So that's something that we're doing. I also need obviously to mention about the form factor, which has been a big, you know, subject of discussion for a few years now, because, you know, obviously we know that this bulky headset is one of the main, the bulkiness of the headset is one of the main limitations. People are scared that it's heavy. It might, you know, for some people, if it can feel heavy for a certain period of use. So we know this is a big thing that we can improve. It's how we can make it smaller. And I guess that when we started working on it a few years ago, one of the main challenges was the technical, you know, aspect of it. The fact that technically it was really hard to have it as, you know, small and to embed a screen into a lens. But now we know that it's technically possible. We know that we can do it. We can offer a bigger field of view than the one, you know, the one from Google Glass, for example. But I guess for us, then one of the other challenge is to, you know, raise enough money to make it, you know, to make it possible. That's the only kind of downside of building such a hardware. It's, you know, it's quite expensive, but it's still something that, you know, we wish to do and we're working towards to. So obviously, if we do have anything about that, about, you know, testing a smaller device, I will let Andrew know, so we can, you know, if also some people wants to be involved in testing, you will be informed. So I think that's pretty much it from my side about, yes, I just wanted to tell you about that, about the next, you know, the next step for us. So obviously we want to make it smaller. That's a big kind of hardware development objective for us. And the other one is the eye monitoring platform, which I invite you to be, you know, if you want to be involved, you're more than welcome. And again, we're looking for new testers. And for example, for testing the new iteration, it would happen next month. So you can also let Andrew know if you want to be involved in that. And maybe before giving you some time for questions, just to maybe tell you a bit more about the user journey. So right now, how does it work to get involved? So if you want to try SightPlus, you have two ways. So this is like the slide shows the whole user journey, but you have two ways. So you can either call, we have a phone landline on the website, or you have a sign up form. And when you sign up, then, we're gonna call you back. It would be, either Michael or myself, but we will call you back and just to discuss a bit more about your profile, to understand if you would benefit from the device, which is quite important at this stage. Then you can go either you can say, oh, I just want to be involved in your development work, which is totally fine. And then we will tell you what's the next step, when we start that, and we will organize the delivery of a demo kit to you. But otherwise, if you want SightPlus to be a SightPlus user, then we organize 30-day trial. And to do that, we ask you a deposit of $495, which is fully refunded if you don't want to keep it at the end of the trial. And if you do want to keep it, then we have a rental model, which means that we keep this the $495 as a down payment, and you pay $55 per month, which includes all the warranty, tech support, and software updates. And this is something that you can stop at any time. So we're just trying to be a bit more flexible about that. But again, so right now you can just say, I just want to be involved in research and development work. In this case, there won't be any pushing for you to pay anything. We will just loan you a device and ask you and give you some instructions what to do. And there would be some testing opportunities, from next month. And if you do want to hear more about other testimonials, in addition to what Michael said, we also put a few videos and stories on the website. So this is just a screenshot of the videos and people's pictures. So you can also check that. We have right now users from 8 years old, I mean, now they are a bit older actually, maybe 9 years old, to I think it's 94 or 96. Yeah.
94, something like that.
Yeah. So we have very different profiles. And I think, again, it's really a question of, it's not necessarily a question about your sight conditions here. It's more a question about, do you think that SightPlus can, help you to do something that right now you can't do? So let's, for you to try. And obviously, first, it's about assessing if you do, maybe, if you have enough vision to make it, to make the most of it. Because if you just have, if there just light perception, it won't be as useful. So we are just trying to find out when we talk to you in, when you sign up. And I think that's pretty much it for me. So if you have any questions, please
great stuff.
ask yours.
It's great stuff, Elodie, and also some great feedback there from Michael. Quite inspirational. I can see why Michael is a great advocate to talk to other people as well about the benefits about benefits of using the device. And just coming back to the form factor there, Elodie.
Yeah.
This is something that we're seeing kind of across the whole kind of spectrum of wearables, not just in assistive technology. Naturally, people are wanting to see, sometimes they want to see bigger things. They want to see bigger watches and bigger wearable devices. And then there are times, obviously, with the smart glasses, that we're seeing now, people want to see them as close to a pair of kind of, Ray-Bans or whatever as they can. And obviously we know that that's not quite possible yet, you know, for some of the things that we need those glasses to be able to do. But
Yes,
there's a picture there that you show of the headset, and then there's also like a picture of, that's it, yeah, we got a picture of like the headset, and then at the right hand side there's a picture of kind of a traditional kind of,
it's like smart glasses. I think when I was talking about the form factor, yes, that's the really, when we talk about miniaturizing this kind of the solution we're working on, the hardware we're working on, then we're talking about smart glasses. And we've tried many of them, and the main limitation, and maybe some of you have tried some of the smart glasses, because I think, you know, we're not the only one to do this, and we've seen so many more head-mounted devices, you know, now transform as low vision aid. But the main limitation is the field of vision. So it means like it's the size of the screen. And if right now the field of vision is, I think is a bit less, you know, it's around 50%.
mm-hmm.
But actually for people with central vision loss or low vision, for something to be very useful, it has to be minimum 70%.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that, you know, we've learned, and that we've tried different again, different hardware. So we just reached the conclusion that we might need to build our own, because you know, for the consumer devices might not see the advantage to have such a big field of view. So that's also why we couldn't just wait for, you know, like a big company like Facebook or Google to do it. And I don't know if some of you have seen, because Facebook just released their actually new smart glasses.
I saw them, with
collaboration with Ray-Ban.
That's right, the Wayfarers.
Yes.
I've looked at those. I've seen those. Yeah.
So it's this is just basically, it's like more like having a camera on your face. You know, it's like a fancy camera on your face, because they said, he was saying, when I say he, is like Mark, our Facebook friend, he was saying that, you know, with his glasses is like having your phone on, you know, here on your face. That's basically what you'll be able to do, is you might be able to scroll in as a, you know, in your phone menu.
Yeah.
And basically, and mostly like take pictures. I'm sure you can do a lot of things, but you won't be necessarily able to, you know, kind of do this, what we are doing about like processing image in real time and add filter on it, so it kind of matches people's needs with, you know, zoom and contrast and so on. It's mostly how you will have your phone menu on your face.
Yeah, I know that's the concept, isn't it? With the rumored Apple Glass as well.
Yes,
that you would be able to see like notifications and messages and things pop up in your. I personally, I couldn't think of anything worse than that. Simply because, you know, I could be like, it could invade my visual privacy.
Very
you know, disturb me and whatever. We're talking about the camera on the smart glasses being projected into the lens, so that you can use that as a navigational, or as, you know, as a device to magnify with. So it's not a very common concept out there in the mainstream. You are trying to do something quite specific, and I suppose here as well, if SightPlus is something that people are interested in, you're actually collaboratively helping build this for the future. So you can't really do this without people getting on board and helping out.
That's right.
You need that feedback. Well, I want to thank Michael. Michael, thanks for coming along today.
Thank you very much for having us.
Okay, take care, everybody.